Hello friends, today I'm going to share with you on this card, which is the AMEX Platinum Charge Card. I am near my renewal and I'm going to run through some factors to see if this is still a good card to renew, or if you have not, maybe is it a good time to sign up or maybe even cancel this card. So let's dive right into it. So first of all, we got to know how much does this card cost. It costs 1,744 inclusive of GST annually. So this is not a very cheap card, but however, it does come with a lot of benefits that might make the fees worthwhile. So let's take a look at it. So cash value straight up. There are many benefits listed over here, and let's take a look on all these factors. So the first thing is the global dining credit. So every single year, you got $400 that you can actually spend. So for this $400 itself, right, is basically if you spend it, they will just deduct it off your credit card. Lifestyle credit is also $400. And then there's airline credit. If let's say if you book for your flights, for SQ and Scoot only, and that will be $200. And if you're looking at entertainment credits will be about 204 and fashion credit about 150. And as of today, AMEX actually make it much harder for us to make the claims, because prior to that, you basically just have to spend a certain amount of sum and they will just deduct the value dollar off from your credit card. And as of now, they actually split it into biannually basis. Meaning, let's say we got $200 for local dining, $200 for overseas dining. What happened itself is that you can only claim $100 per 6 months. So let's say local dining is $200. So first half of the year, you have spent and claim $100. And then the second half of the year, you got to go find somewhere which there is a participating restaurant and spend another $100 off. So same thing for overseas trip, but this will be the part that will be more challenging, because you have to plan your travel according to the first half of the calendar and the second half of the calendar. And it is the same for lifestyle credit, because the lifestyle credit, even though it's stated as $400, it is split into 6 months. So from January to end of June, you can only claim $200. And then the second half of the year, another $200. So right now, instead of like spending one time that you can net off $400, you got to spend 2 times in order to net off the $200 per 6 months. And for lifestyle credit, there is a minimum spend that you have to fulfill in order to claim back the $200. Airline credit, this is pretty easy. You just have to plan 2 trips in a year, the first half of the year and the second half of the year. And then you'll easily be able to claim this $100 per 6 months. Entertainment credit, I use this to file for my Netflix. You can also use this to sign up for other subscription services, which I will dive a bit deeper into it. And lastly, fashion credit is also split into $75 per 6 months. So let's go to the next slide. So if we are talking about the local dining, local and overseas $400 credit, basically first thing that you have to do is every start of the year, you have to go and enroll your cards. So if you do not enroll your cards and you went to do the spending, they will not automatically net off these deductions, which is your local dining credits or your overseas dining credit. So do take note that you have to enroll first to kickstart this benefit. And once you enroll already, whenever you spend at a participating restaurant, AMEX on the back end will just net off the credit automatically. Next, lifestyle credit. $400. So for the lifestyle credit, you have to have a minimum spend of $300, and then you will be able to net off $200. So it is also on a per 6 month basis. So what I use it for is, I do have friends who spend it on wines and they can actually order online on Grand Cru Wine Concierge. Personally, I haven't used my lifestyle credits on the Grand Cru Wine Concierge. I have used it at the Spa by the Ultimate and Spa Real. So generally, if you go to places like these, they tend to want to sell you packages. However, the packages, if it is something that you are interested in, it might be worthwhile. So you might want to take a look on it and see if it makes sense to you. But so far, my experience with Spa Real and the Spa by the Ultimate has been pretty good. For this lifestyle credit, it's pretty easy for me to utilize it. Airline credit is something I find it easy to utilize it too, because basically, I just have to ensure I book my flight every 6 months. First half of the year, second half of the year. So I will be able to clock the $200 redemption. Entertainment credits itself, I generally use it for my Netflix, and on top of that, you are actually able to use it for Business Times, Straits Times, Ticketmaster, Disney Plus, or Eventbrite. So this is also something that you can set and forget, which is pretty easy to claim. But same thing, do remember to enroll all these benefits, or else if you charge it to your card without enrolling to this benefit, AMEX on the back end will not give you back your credit and you won't be able to appeal for it. Okay, fashion credit for the $150 credit, basically it is also split into biannually. And you can go Net-a-Porter or Mr. Porter to do any purchase. And once the purchase is logged on, and you would have $75 back in statement credits every 6 months redemption period. I find this pretty easy to use also, just that the shipping fee for Net-a-Porter and Mr. Porter is pretty expensive. Prior to that, they are able to get some free shipping. However, as of now, there isn't any free shipping codes that we could use. And shipping sometimes can cost about $20 to $30, which is pretty expensive. So if you do the math, the card fee is a total of $1,744. But however, if you add all the cash value benefits together, which I have shared earlier, that would be a total of $1,354. Net, you haven't really break even, but majority of the costs have been covered just by using the cash value benefits. So one thing I will want to highlight is if you struggle to clear the cash value benefits by itself, likely this might not be the card for you, because it takes such a huge bulk of the annual fee. Hence, this card, it only makes sense if, let's say, you are able to easily clear this hurdle, which is the cash value benefits that we stated earlier. Okay, next slide. Just to share this with you all, I do have a referral link to the AMEX Plat card sign up if you are keen. If you have went through the whole video later on and you find that this is something that you might be interested in, you can find the referral link in the description below. Signing up by the referral link will give you some cashback and amount if you fulfill the criteria. Okay, let's get back into the video. Okay, so right now we talk about other things that you have access to. First thing is the airport lounge access. So for the AMEX Plat card, we have unlimited lounge access. There's complimentary hotel night, hotel elite status, fine hotel resorts. You got free breakfast. I think if you book through the platform, they will still give you some credits to use. Power Club, complimentary access, Homo and golf privileges. I'm not going to go through everything. I am only going to share with you what are the features that I use. And you can see if these are something that is beneficial to you. Okay. Lounge access. For me, I travel quite a fair bit, and as of today, priority pass annual fee for the lounge visit is $35 per visit, and the annual fee itself is $99. So I value each lounge access at around $50 per pax. So this is assuming, right, if I travel 8 times a year, which I did last year, so me and my wife using this feature will be costing me about $100 if I were to pay out of my pocket. So if $100 times 8 is already $800. So if I'm just looking purely at the lounge access, this card would have already made sense to me. Because on my earlier slides that I shared, I basically need another $390 to make back from the card, in the sense that to make it valuable for me. So coming back to this, okay, but if let's say, right, if you're someone who don't travel so much, and if you travel 4 times a year, lounge fee is basically around $60 per pax. So you have to do your calculation to see whether the lounge access makes sense to you. But the thing is, you'll be able to use a much cheaper card like a City Prestige, which I believe the card fee will be about $400 to $500 a year, much cheaper compared to the AMEX Plat card. And you would have also unlimited priority pass access for you and a guest. So this is something that you also might want to consider. Okay, next, complimentary hotel night. Complimentary hotel night is very worthwhile, and I actually went to took the rates for St. Regis, 1 king bed guest room. Last year, I did a redemption at St. Regis, and it should cost about the 400 plus to 500 per night. So if let's say I added in this cost to the total cash value straight up, this card would have already been valuable to me. I hope they don't take this benefit off, as I really enjoyed this feature. I previously went to Ritz-Carlton, and then the second year I went to St. Regis. So it's basically just one free complimentary night. The next part is the hotel and rental car elite status. I don't really use much of them. Prior to that, I did use the Hertz Gold Plus reward for my recent trip to New Zealand. But to be frank, I don't find there's much benefit except that I would have some easier access to collect my keys and drop off my cars. But the Hilton Gold did impress me because earlier part of the year, I did went to Kota Kinabalu and I booked a hotel at Hilton and I managed to get a free upgrade to suites. So let's take a look. So during my trip to Kota Kinabalu, for the upgrade to suite itself, that would have cost me 300 per night. So I remember I paid about 120 per night for a normal room and I got upgraded into the suite which cost 320 a night. And this itself would have already be a $200 benefit. And next, for Hilton Gold members, you would have enjoyed free breakfast for yourself and a guest. So at Kota Kinabalu, it costs about $30 per pax, and that value itself would be about $60. So taking that into account, that would be also a $260 worth of value here. However, you also need to take into consideration whether will you be using this feature that frequently. Out of the 3 years I've been using this card, I have only booked Hilton once because sometimes you need to look into your travel itinerary whether does it make sense for you to book a hotel which is out of the way or is it along the way. So these things make it very tricky to just focusing on booking a specific hotel for your travel because in the end your travel have to follow the hotel that you wanted to stay, which might also not be the too ideal situation. Okay, so let's go into the next slide. There will be also one stack of vouchers. I got this list from Mount Lion, so credit to them. And in this whole stack of voucher that you have seen in the box that they deliver it to you, there will be the complimentary one night hotel stay at selected properties. So I think this is valuable. I did use this. There is also a $50 Tower Club voucher. I rarely use this, but you will have free access to this place at the Tower Club. But driving to the car park there, paying for the car park fee does not make much sense to me. So I don't really visit the place that often. But they do have some vouchers for you to use at their restaurants and bars. And I remember the bar itself is pretty good, especially during happy hours, and they sell very value for money oysters, which is fantastic. So you can give it a try if that is something that you like. So complimentary cake or bottle of wine at Fairmont Swiss Hotel, I've collected this. Wang Hao, you don't really use it because there's another feature called the Love Dining feature, which give you a higher percentage of discount, which is 50%. So subsequently, you can see there's a lot of vouchers here, but majority of them, I don't really use it. Likely is these are the things that I use, which are the ones I take. So next up, we got the Love Dining. So AMEX does have this feature called the Love Dining, which allows discount for 2 diners up to 50% off. And these discounts are really good. If there are some restaurants or restaurants in hotels that you have wanted to try, you might be able to get it for 50% discount off, which is pretty good saving. So let's take a look at this. So generally, me and my wife, when we dine out, it's only 2 packs, so that would be 50%. But if you have more diners, then the discount will start to taper down. But it's still worth it if as long as there's some discount. But the most worthwhile is still for the 2 diners. Okay? So here are some receipts that I tried to duck out from previous years. So you would have seen, let's say in terms of the savings here, $83, savings of $79, savings of $142, savings of $96. So if you visit the Love Dining hotels and restaurants, all these savings will start to add up and it will make the card worthwhile. But the thing is, you have to take the time to go and do the planning to check out all these restaurants. But some might not be something that you love to eat, but you just force yourself to go and try. So savings are going to be worthwhile as long as you really visited all these restaurants to try out their food. So I would say that Love Dining is worthwhile, but however, it takes effort to plan to see whether which restaurant to go for and which restaurant to try. So it takes some effort in terms of the planning. So you can take a look at some of the restaurants here, and they have took away some restaurants and some new restaurants came in. But it seems like the list got turned shorter. And I'm a fan of Asian food. So basically over here, the Peach Garden, Scent of Japan, Sichuan Douhua, Xin Cuisine, Verandas. I have tried all this. Scent of Japan is pretty good. Highly recommend if you are a fan of Jap food. Then they got the contemporary and the Western. So I think the Westerns, the popular ones are the Lorries, Ulumulu, Steakhouse. So these are it. So next would be the Love Dining at hotels. So you can see all these restaurants, right, are actually part of the Love Dining at hotels. And some of these dining at these hotels are pretty expensive. And you'll be shocked actually when you're able to save 50% on that. And that is a very significant saving. So purely if you're someone who really love to dine out or you don't really want to think about date nights, where to go for, using the AMEX Love Dining basically gave you a list of the things that you can go and try, which is pretty fun if you want to check off some of the list and visit all these restaurants and hotels. So for miles, AMEX isn't a really very good mouse card because as you can see over here, you can spend $1 and you only earn 0.78 miles, which is pretty low. You can easily get like $1 to 4 or $1 to 6. But however, I do use this card to book my air tickets because if you're booking through SQ Scoot, basically $1 spent will yield you about 1.95 miles, which I think is pretty good. And there's this thing called the Platinum 10x Accelerator partners, which allow you to earn $1 for 7.81 miles. But these partners are more limited. So let me share with you on the next slide. So these are some of the partners that they are partnering with for the 10x. I don't use the beauty and cosmetic, fashion and accessories. I'm not really a fan of branded goods. Dine and wine is something I'm more interested in. And if you haven't tried, this is one of my favorite, which is the Park Royal Collection Marina Bay. They have a Chinese restaurant, Peach Blossom, and the restaurant is really good. So you can always give it a try if this is something that interests you. So next part, they do have tied up with all the other restaurants over here. You can see under one group. Then home and lifestyle, nothing really on my list. Watches and jewelry, not my cup of tea. But these are the partners that allow you to spend $1 to earn more than 7 miles, which is fantastic if you are someone looking to accumulate miles. So will I keep this card or should you sign or renew? So first of all, with all these benefits that I went through with you, you would have already seen that likelihood if you are able to fulfill the cash value straight up, plus a bit of a la carte along the way, very easily you can get back the value of the card. So if you're someone who is able to fulfill at least the minimum cash value straight up, I think this is the card that you can really go for it. The second thing is if you don't mind the hassle of trying to clock all the benefits, because this will be a bit of admin work to do the planning to the restaurants and stuff like that. If you are someone who don't really want to deal with all this hassle, this might not be the card for you. Because trying to clock all this value does take a bit of effort and time. And lastly, if you love new experiences, this card can also be interesting because with the love dining at restaurants and hotels, you don't really have to worry about what are the things to eat. You basically can just follow the list and go and try out the food. But the disclaimer is Singapore's selection of restaurants and food choices are too many, that sometimes you might not just want to try the things that are on the list. So for me this year, I will still renew the card, even though there are some benefits that are being taken away from AMEX, because I feel that the card still yields sufficient benefit for me to continue paying for this. And for next year, that will be another story and another review. Hopefully this review gave you some insights of how I view this card, and I hope my insights will be useful to you. And if this card is something that is on your mind, you have been thinking whether you want to sign up for it, you can always click on the link in the description to sign up for the AMEX Platinum Charge Card so that you can also enjoy some additional rewards along the way. That will be all for this video today, and maybe the next video I can do something about my mouse strategy to share more with you. So look forward to sharing with you more in the next video. Goodbye!